wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans. Professional wrestling. This is it. This is us standing up. This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
professional wrestling. This is it. This is us standing up.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's 13-14.
Cena, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, that HEAD. Sorry, I went a little Middlesbrough on you there for a minute. But, yeah, it's me, that HEAD here for another installment of the Wrestling Matters Podcast. The only podcast that matters. My name is Anthony Walker, the HD, the ADD, like I say, and hope you enjoyed Summerslam last week. Hope you enjoyed NXT as well. Hope you enjoyed the professional wrestling industry, the business this week as well, because there's been a lot to go on. It is an action-packed episode today, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Because the reason why it is an action-packed episode, because I'm going to talk Raw, I'm going to talk Smackdown, I'm going to talk TNA, I'm going to talk NXT, and I'm going to talk Ring of Honor as well. But I'm going to do it a little different. It's going to be certain things a little different as well, because I'm also going to talk NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and SummerSlam. I recorded this past week videos reviewing SummerSlam, Raw after SummerSlam, the night after SummerSlam, and NXT, the Brooklyn show, NXT TakeOver. And I'm going to play them audios on this very podcast, this episode today. So if you didn't see the video, go and check the video out. It's on Wrestling Matters channel, AJW/Wrestling Matters, or go to the Facebook page of the Wrestling Matters Podcast, which is facebook.com/WM Podcast, and you'll be able to see the videos. But I'm going to play the audios today. Just saves me a job, because I've done videos before, and I've took the audios and put them on SoundCloud. It just saves me a big job. So instead of putting the separate audios on SoundCloud, I might do that anyway, but off the start it might be interesting and a change of pace to put them on this show as well. So just make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more action-packed as well. So I'll be playing them audios a little bit later on, so stay tuned for that. First of all, I've got 3 things to talk about today. I like to talk about things before we get, just to warm me up before we get into the main pieces of the puzzle, so to speak. Now, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to every single person out there that has supported the Wrestling Matters Podcast. It's been greatly appreciated. Your support really matters to me as far as this podcast is concerned. I am busting my ass to bring you the best podcast that I can bring you. It is not easy. It is not an easy job, but it's my job and I fucking love it. God damn it. So I've got over now 1,000 likes on the Facebook page. I greatly appreciate your support. Just keep busting that page out, keep busting it all in, and we'll take it from there basically. And like I say, your support, just keep it coming and everything. Hope you've enjoyed the ICW podcasts and the Progress Wrestling one as well, especially Chapter 9 review. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. Chapter 10 is coming this Wednesday. Oh boy, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, big thank you for your continued support. Yes, I get feedback. Yes, there is a lot of idiots out there, but hey, you just gotta, brush your shoulders off and continue with it. Not many people understand what I'm going through as far as building the podcast and whatnot, but all in all, it has been very, very, very good. And the support and, the progress, if you will, of the podcast has been very good. Now, just 2 things as well before we get to the main pieces of the puzzle, the main format of the show. I saw this past week on Facebook, I think I mentioned this on the video as well, that one John Cena, and this is only a rumour by the way, don't be busting my balls about this, whether you know the facts or not, it's only a rumour. Rumour has it that John Cena stopped Charlotte's push, or put the derails on Charlotte's push for the time being to become Divas champion, because that was the plan, to bring her up from NXT and put the Divas title on her. That's what I read anyway, and which was a smart move. But apparently Mr. John Cena went backstage politicking to Vince McMahon and had the plan derailed for the time being, just to allow his girlfriend, Nikki Bella, to, to beat the record, which I'm pretty sure the record's being held by AJ Lee. Because obviously they want. Well, Cena wants him, or they want to beat AJ Lee's record, get it out the way and everything and that, so they can forget about it, quite frankly, and allow Nikki to be the record holder, because basically Nikki's the future Mrs. Cena. I mean, come on. I mean, we all know eventually at the end of the day, Charlotte is going to be Divas champion at some point. Why? Because she deserves it. And 2, she's the future of the Divas division. And I believe she will be the backbone of the Divas division also. But John, seriously? You're turning into Hulk Hogan, okay? And this is only a rumour, by the way. If this is true, dude, you need to think about your priorities. I know Nikki's your girlfriend, man, but don't be vouching for her like that. I know you're pally-pallies with Vince McMahon and that, but come on, Cena, and it's stuff like this that makes people hate you. I know you're about rise above the hate, hustle, loyalty, and respect, and I get that. But it's stuff like this that makes people really hate you. Not just on screen when they go, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. I mean, out of, the ring. Don't be doing things like that, man. It's not good for you. And everybody knows at the end of the day, Charlotte's going to beat your girlfriend for the Divas title at some point. So whether it's now, whether it's a couple of months down the road, it's going to happen. You're a former US champion. More on that later. But, it just doesn't work like that, Cena. The sooner you understand that, fam, the better. And like I say, at some point, whether you keep doing this or not, she can't be Divas champion for all the time. And at some point, Charlotte's going to end up being the Divas champion. The revolution's going strong, pal. You just got to deal with it. Now, that's the end of that. I saw something this past week, guys. I thought I'd like to share with you. And the thought of it makes me cringe. I've got my YouTube page up as we're doing this right now in front of me. And I want to share this. I will put the link in the description on YouTube and SoundCloud and all that. Please check this video out. And it will make you cringe. It was the top 10 plans that nearly happened at SummerSlam. Everybody, WWE told us top 10 shocking plans at SummerSlam that almost happened. Top 10 shocking SummerSlam plans that almost happened is what the video is. And it's by it's by What Culture WWE. Go and check it out. Go and subscribe to the guy as well. And I saw this the other day. This video, I'm pretty sure this video was put up August 25th, 2015. Okay? Like I said, 10 shocking SummerSlam plans that almost happened. So basically, it was put up last week. Go and check it out. Seriously. There's a lot of stuff on there. It talks about, how it was supposed to be Hogan versus Brett. The plan was Hogan versus Brett at SummerSlam of 93, but they went with Lex Luger versus Yokozuna, and there was going to be a full, a near riot. Like, everybody was going to quit the company and boycott WWE, Backstage and all that, have a sit out and everything, because they didn't want Luger to have the championship and blah, 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 blah. But the one that shocked me was there was a match scheduled for a SummerSlam. I believe it was 2013 or 2014. It was probably sometime very soon. And it was a 6-man tag involving the Wyatt family and their opponents, John Cena, The Big Show, and of all people, Justin Bieber. Yes, you heard me correct. I didn't stutter, guys. You're not waxing your ears out or anything like that. I did say it. Justin Bieber. Of all people. And apparently the plan, because apparently it all began because Justin said that he wanted to wrestle for the WWE at an award show, and Vince considered it, and you wouldn't believe the potential, or what was supposedly going to be the outcome of the match. Justin Bieber was going to get the pinfall on Bray Wyatt, and I'm not even kidding when I say that. Like I said, watch the video, check it out. I swear, the fact that WWE considered Justin Bieber, talented guy who was now basically turned into a snot-nosed punk and an ungrateful little brat, right? The fact that they considered him to go over on Bray Wyatt at a major event like SummerSlam makes me want to quit my life. It makes me want to quit watching wrestling, period. All I can say is thank God common sense prevailed, and thank God it didn't happen. Because can you imagine if it did? Because I can promise you this, if it did happen, we wouldn't be talking about Bray Wyatt to this very day. Quite frankly, there'd be no Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt would probably be too embarrassed to show himself in WWE, because he'll be known for the guy that lost to Justin Bieber on a pay-per-view. Probably the second biggest pay-per-view to WrestleMania, and what is now dubbed the biggest party of the summer. And if that was me, if I lost to Justin Bieber, I'd probably jump off a cliff. And like I say, guys, the fact that WWE, i.e. Vince McMahon, even considered it makes me seriously want to quit my life. And I cringe at the thought of it. Because like I say, if it did happen, we wouldn't be talking about Bray Wyatt to this very day. And there might not even been a possible, or what did eventually happen, Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. Because I know Bray Wyatt would have been pissed. Oh yeah, I did a job for Justin Bieber. If that doesn't end your career, nothing does. That's all I'm saying on that. Anyway, I'll leave you guys to think about it. If you want to talk about it, please hook me up. Please, I want to get your thoughts on this, guys. Please, if you want to talk about it, please just hook me up on the YouTube page, facebook.com/WM Podcast, or at WM Podcast on Twitter. I could just imagine the outbursts and that, and wow, Justin Bieber going over on Bray Wyatt at a SummerSlam pay-per-view. Wow. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, away from all the retardedness and probably the craziest thought I've ever seen, I'm going to be back after this quick time out with the show. That's right. I'm going to talk about NXT, SummerSlam, and Raw. But when I come back after this, we'll kick off with SummerSlam. That's right, SummerSlam. So stay tuned. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Madness Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Madness Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
Welcome back everyone to the Wrestling Matters Podcast. Now for the next 3 parts, guys, I'm going to play SummerSlam review audio, NXT and Raw. First of all, it's going to be SummerSlam, then break, Raw, then break, and then NXT, then break. And I'll be back with you after the NXT for the Smackdown audio, for the Smackdown main points and the NXT main token points, and then we'll take TNA and then Ring of Honor and then da-da-da-da-da. You get the point. So sit back, relax and enjoy this for the next 3 parts, guys, and then I'll be back with you later on. So this is me reviewing SmackDown, reviewing SummerSlam, Raw, NXT. If you want to see these videos, go on to www.youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters. They're on the Wrestling Matters channel YouTube page. Check it out. Also check out facebook.com/WM Podcast. Check out the video section because they'll be on there as well. Also, thank you for your support on them, guys. The SummerSlam review that you're about to hear, well, the audio of it anyway. The video on YouTube got over 260 views, rather 60,000. 260 views. It's growing by the day, so God knows where that's going to end up. So thank you so much for your support on that one. I don't give a damn what you thought of it. Everybody has an opinion about it, but at the end of the day, your support on that really truly matters to me. Like I said, check it out on the YouTube page, check it out on the Facebook page, and I'll be back when they're all done and dusted. So sit back, relax and enjoy, and I hope you agree. If you don't, leave your opinions, leave your feedback as well. So see you in a bit. I'm going to start with SummerSlam first. If I can find my book. There it is, right there. Right there, here. I'm going to go through the matches. It kicked off with Randy Orton and Sheamus. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen this match many, many times, as we all have. This was a good match, and I would say a good, solid way to kick off the SummerSlam pay-per-view. But was it as good as their Battleground match? No. Okay. Yes, there's obviously going to be a third match in the pipeline. Sheamus won it with 2 bro kicks and knocked him out in the last one before he got the cover. All in all, it was a good solid match to kick off. Not their best match so far, but you could imagine there's going to be a third match at some point. Probably, I don't know. It might be for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I would put it up for that third match. I don't know when it's going to be. I doubt it'll be Night of Champions. Might be on Raw. Might have to be on Raw. Or they might wait till Hell in a Cell and stick them both in there. I don't know. But I thought it was okay for what it was. Good solid match. But yeah, not their best match, but It was okay. An okay way to kick off the 4-hour spectacular, in my opinion. Right, PTP Tag Team titles. Yes, New Day are the Tag Team Champions once again. And now I want to quit my life, quite frankly. I cannot stand New Day. A good 4-way match, action-packed. I don't know why they had the rules where both members of a team could be in there facing each other one-on-one. Who booked that? Seriously? Although it would have been a great idea for a team if they thought about it. They might just lay it down, get the cover, they lose, but they walk away with the belts. Win-loss situation in that respect. But yeah, I'm not particularly pleased with this match, to be honest with you, because New Day are the champions again. And how people can support these guys. I mean, I've said this right now. The only reason that team's a success, in my view, is because Kofi Kingston is the star of that team. Simple as that. Simple as that. Kofi Kingston is the star of that team. Period. He's just a lost soul in amongst, this group, so to speak. I mean, the weakest link is Xavier Woods. But Big E is good. Not great. Good. But the star of that team is definitely Kofi Kingston. I don't know where this is going to go. I know PTP have got their tag team title rematch. But, yeah. We'll just have to wait and see where it goes. But other than that, good solid 4-way match, I thought. Could have been better, but the main thing is New Day are the tag team champions for a second time. Dolph Ziggler, Rusev. Now, this was a good match, but I can't understand why during this match Rusev had that camel clutch on Ziggler. Right? And then Summer Rae walks round, goes to take a swing at Lana, and it backfires on it because Lana blocks it and she takes a swing back at her. And then because of that, Rusev lets go of the hold. If he'd have kept that on, he'd have won the match. But, I mean, I don't know if that was meant, that was part of the story of the match, but I found that weird. If it had been me, I'd have kept the thing on. Because he had him beat. Rusev had him beat. And then they both fight on the outside. Dolph Ziggler kicks him in the face on the announce table. And I mean kicked him in the face. And then it ends in a double count out. Nah. I didn't want to see that. I think I can imagine everybody expected Ziggler to get his revenge for Lana, considering the way them two have been double teaming Lana lately. You know, with the Summer Rae with using the camel clutch and Rusev just being Rusev. You would expect Ziggler to come back on Raw and then at SummerSlam to get his revenge. But it didn't work. Because somebody came up with an idea. Oh yeah, we'll go and do a finish where, you know, it's a double count out. However, the positive I got from this double count out, in my opinion, I don't know when they're going to do this. I highly doubt they'll do it at Night of Champions, but then again, this is WWE we're talking about. You know there's a mixed tag on the way. A mixed tag match. Lana, Dolph, Summer Rae, Rusev. You know what's coming. It's just a case of when. Because that's what they're building up to. You know, mixed tag match very soon. But like I say, it's just a case of when. All in all, I was disappointed with this match because it should have had an ending. It shouldn't. It didn't need the double count out. The double count out ruined it for me. And I would imagine Dolph was a little bit pissed off with that. The hell with it. I'll go with the Wyatt family and Ambrose and Reigns for next. It was just a fight. You'd expect that. How it stayed in the confines of a tag team match, I don't know. It should have been, to be honest with you, I would have booked it a tornado match and just let all four of them go. You know, because that's what it was building up to eventually. I don't know where this is going to end. It's far from over. Ambrose and Reigns got the victory. Great performance from Ambrose. Put a belt on him, WWE, please. I'm begging you. Put a belt on him. Because he deserves it. I don't care. Intercontinental, US. You can have him beat Seth Rollins for all I care. More on that later. It's interesting to see where this is going to go. To be honest. But we'll see, won't we? Other than that, it was a good solid tag team match. It should have been no disqualification, to be honest with you. I think it would have been better that way. But for what they had, a good solid match, which Ambrose and Reigns ended up winning. More on that later when I review Raw. Or when I talk about Raw. Team Bella, Team Bad, Team PCB. Now, I love this match. This was probably my second favourite match of the night because Team PCB got the victory. That's right, 4 horsewomen, baby, right there. And if you want to know why I just did that, like I say, go and watch NXT. I'll be reviewing that later in the week. Go and watch NXT if you want to get that. Great. This was good. This was solid. The Bella Twins getting rid of Team Bad. Listen, I'll say this right now. Sasha Banks should not be on that team. I know she's supposedly a heel, despite the fact she gets cheered out the building, and people recognise the fact that she is the boss. She should be, to be honest with you, the group they should make is they should put Sasha with Team PCB and make the 4 horsewomen. I wouldn't mind if they had Paige in there. Yes, technically the 4 horsewomen is Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. I wouldn't care if they had Paige in there. I mean, Paige set the bar for the NXT women division and everything. She was their first champion, so I wouldn't mind that. I mean, she started this revolution, so why not? I mean, if that happened, they would be seriously unstoppable. Unstoppable. And they would definitely take over and shake up the Divas division. Trust me, it needs it. I have a little point to make. I don't know if I'm going to make it on this video involving John Cena and Charlotte situation that I read yesterday on Facebook. Involving Charlotte. I don't know if I'll do it. I might do it at the end of this. At the end of this review, but I'll get to that later. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. When you're dating John Cena, you get things your way. That's all I'm saying on that one. 3-way IC title, Big Show, Miz, and Ryback. Ryback retained. The story of this match was Miz trying to sneak a win, as you would expect him to do. He's trying to weasel his way into victories, try to cover both men at the same, not at the same time, trying to cover both men, trying to cover them while to get a sneak win and run away with the title. Didn't work. Big Show knocked him out. Ryback clotheslined him out the ring or something. Ryback got rid of him anyway, pushed him out the ring. And then Ryback covered him and got the victory. And Ryback retained. So now at Night of Champions, it looks like it's going to be Ryback versus Big Show. Which, to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing. I thought this match should have been at SummerSlam, to be honest with you. But, with Battleground and that, I thought this match should have been taking place at SummerSlam. But hey. But now it looks like we're going to see that match at SummerSlam, at Night of Champions coming up. Ryback versus Big Show. So I'm interested to see this match, to be honest. Yes, I know I'm probably going to get stick for that. Because Ryback is Ryback, and not many people like Ryback as Intercontinental Champion. And a lot of people are sick of Big Show, to be honest with you now. So I might get stick for that, but I'm interested in seeing where that pans out. But I'm not holding my breath. Now, Neville and Amel, the Green Arrow and Red Arrow, versus Cody and King Barrett. Or Stardust and King Barrett. to be honest, the story of this match, I was actually impressed with Stephen Amell. He stepped up. You know, he had the balls to step up and go in the ring, and trust me, take it from somebody who's wrestled, okay? Okay, take it from somebody who's been in the ring. Okay, granted, I've never been in a WWE ring, but take it from somebody who's been in a wrestling ring, who's done this, okay? It's not the easiest thing in the world. You've got to train, you've got to prepare, you know, you've got to learn the first thing you've got to do, you've got to learn the fundamentals. How to take a bump, how to, you know, take things. Because if you don't, you'll be fucked before you even begin. You know, you'll be messed about before you even begin. And Stephen Amell, I don't know who trained him, I don't know what he did, but whatever he did worked. I know he used some of the stuff that he got from doing the show, because obviously you learn some things when you're doing stuff, you know, green arrows and doing shows like that. So whatever he did worked. He took out, was it King Barrett? No, he took out Stardust, and then Neville hit Barrett with the Red Hour and got the victory. But like I said, the story of the match was Stephen Amell. He was impressive, very impressive, impressed the hell out of me. Right, I've been through all these matches. I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens and Cesaro next. I was disappointed with this match, to be honest. I thought this match would have stole the show. Don't get me wrong, it was a great match. But, yeah, it didn't steal the show. To me. But, I don't think this feud's over. It was a great match. Hard-hitting. At times I did feel like I was watching Ring of Honor. But, yeah. Good solid match between the former Ring of Honor boys. And, I just think it's going to get better. There's going to be matches upcoming between the two. This is not over by a long shot. And I have to give credit to... By the way, Kevin Owens won. But I have to give credit to Kevin Owens. Because apparently... Because he wrestled twice. Back to back that weekend. He wrestled the night before at TakeOver. And he wrestled there. And apparently he couldn't walk after TakeOver. So, for him to step up the way he did... You know, credit to him. But we all knew he was good anyway. At least I knew. And Cesaro is just a fucking beast. Jesus. This dude, can he do any wrong? I mean, I'm glad he's in the main event spot. I mean, obviously, fortunate thing what happened to Tyson Kidd and everything, involving the Samoa Joe situation and all that. But, yeah, I mean, he can't do no wrong. And it's just a matter of time before Cesaro has the belt. But like I say, the positive of this match is the fans won this match. It's just a shame it wasn't the show stealer. Because I thought it would have been. But it wasn't. And that was surprising to me. And I'm going to tell you what the show stealer was, in my opinion, in a minute. But all in all, Kevin Owens won it. And like I say, it's far from over between these two. Far from over. There will be another match. It'll be just a case of when. Now for the two main events. And I'm going to start with Rollins and Cena. This, to me, was the show stealer of the show. The only thing that ruined it was Jon Stewart at the beginning of it, costing Cena the championship. As we found out on Raw, he was trying to do it to save Ric Flair's title run. But he royally fucked up. And cost Cena the championship, the US title, and Rollins is now the unified champion. Like I said, I still think there's Ring of Honor fingerprints on this. I think WWE were watching Ring of Honor a couple of months ago when Jay Lethal did it with the TV and World title in Ring of Honor. But anyway, but this match, there was carbon copies of what they had on Raw when Rollins challenged Cena for the US title and broke his nose. But they stole the show. In my opinion. Only to have Jon Stewart ruin it at the end. He had no business being there. I'd like to know who booked that ending. Because whoever booked that ending wants shooting. I didn't like the ending. I liked the match. Loved the match. Because they basically picked up... Rollins and Cena basically picked up where they left off from Raw. It's just it had to have the host of the show, supposed to be the host of the pay-per-view, Jon Stewart, ruining it. I can't dwell on that too much because what happened on Raw. And I'll get to that in a second. It's just bleh for me. It's just like, really? But hey, it is what it is. And Raw, he hits him with a chair. I actually thought he was going to hit Rollins with it, to be honest with you, because them two had a beef a couple of months ago, which led to Jon Stewart kicking Rollins between the legs. But it turns out all he did was try to save Ric Flair's title run. You know, the 16-time world champion. But like I said, I'd still love to know who booked that ending, because whoever booked that ending wants shooting. You know, many people believe that this SummerSlam had Russo's fingerprints on it. I'll leave that up to you guys. All in all, good match, great match, the show stealer, in my opinion. The match that stole the show, that ended with Jon Stewart ruining it. Fuck you, Stewart. Now to the main event of SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar, Undertaker. Now, when this match was announced after Battleground, you wouldn't believe the hate that this got. This actually got. It was unbelievable, the hate that it had. People wondering, is this going to work? What is the point of this? You know, I believed that this would work when they had that brawl on Raw. That pull apart on Raw. I believe if that's any indication of what's going to happen, we're in for a treat at SummerSlam. And I don't know about you, but is it me or is Brock Lesnar, every freaking time he's in a match at SummerSlam, he doesn't have a wrestling match, he has a fight. You know, he has a fight. You know, Triple H, CM Punk, now Undertaker. You know, and hell, the suplex City beatdown of John Cena. I saw WTTV the other day, and gorgeous lass on there, like one of the pundits on there, saying that one of her favourite matches at SummerSlam was John Cena versus Brock Lesnar for the title, the Suplex City beatdown of John Cena. Can you really call that a match? I mean, could you really call that a match? I mean, it was basically, yes, granted, John Cena got back and everything, but the more he fought back, the more he pissed off Lesnar. I mean, could you really call that a match? But anyway, the match lived up to its expectations. Undertaker took bumps. He took an F5 through a table. He took suplexes after suplexes. He went to his own Suplex City. You know, and it was just a full-blown fight. Brock was bleeding. Undertaker. My favourite part of that match. It was just fucking gold. Was when Brock Lesnar, they're both lying down. Brock Lesnar sits up. Brock starts laughing. Undertaker sits up and goes like that and just mocks him. Go back and watch that match. Go back and watch it just for that spot. It is fucking gold. And then there's a picture. I've downloaded a picture which I'm going to use for a thumbnail. I might use it for this. Oh my god. Please go and watch that. If you haven't seen SummerSlam, go and watch it just for that moment. It is fucking hilarious. But like I say, all in all, it was a fight. But it ended in controversy. Because Brock Lesnar had The Undertaker in the Kimura. And I don't know what the hell happened, but at one point during that, the bell rang. And the referee never called for the bell. I swear, at one point during that, I thought Undertaker's arm was broken. I thought Brock broke Undertaker's arm. The bell rang. Everybody thought that, you know, it was over. Paul Heyman and Lesnar, well, I don't know if Lesnar was doing it, but Paul Heyman was screaming he tapped out. And then Undertaker low blows him, and then chokes him out with Hell's Gate. Turns out on the replay, he did tap out. It's just the referee didn't see it. or didn't call it. So a bit of bad luck there. Now, I don't know where this is going to go. Hopefully, I've got a funny feeling it's going to go to WrestleMania again. I don't like the fact that it's going to go to WrestleMania. They shouldn't do it. I mean, they've got Hell in the Cell coming up. Sod WrestleMania. You can give Undertaker a match at WrestleMania against somebody else. But granted that the Undertaker's fitting well for this. You've got Hell in the Cell in a couple of months. Stick him in that. Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, Hell in the Cell. But I've got a funny feeling they will do that only at WrestleMania. And it's a shame. It's a shame we have to wait that long for WrestleMania. No, I really, really, really do not want that. But it's going to happen. And like I said, as Lesnar was choked out with Hell's Gate, he did that to The Undertaker. He went out in defiance. But did it need that ending? No, quite frankly. But hey, like I say, they're building up. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, Undertaker Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam delivered. It's just a match that was too big for WrestleMania. Seems to be taking place at WrestleMania. Makes no sense. All in all, my overview of SummerSlam, in my opinion, was good, but the booking on it sucked, in my opinion. The booking on it. Not necessarily in all the matches, certain points of SummerSlam. It was booked wrong. I mean, if you're an avid fan, you would think that, Russo had his fingerprints on it. Anyway, all in all, a good show, but the booking ruined it. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling, the Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday for the Progress Wrestling Podcast. That's right, each and every week on Wednesdays, for the time being at least, I will be reviewing their shows from their on-demand service, Demand Progress. So be sure to check out the hottest promotion to come out of London. That's right, it's Progress Wrestling. This is Progress. This is a podcast on Progress. Every Wednesday on SoundCloud, YouTube, OSW TV, and every other podcasting site that matters. Be sure to check it out. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Monday Night Raw. Now, before I get to the other points, I want to talk about the 4 points that I got from Raw. The 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 main talking points of Monday Night Raw. Before I get to the other bits. Kicked off Raw, Brock Lesnar pissed. Very pissed, as well as Paul Heyman. Comes out, calls out The Undertaker. Calls out The Undertaker, says to hell with WrestleMania, to hell with the Survivor Series, to hell with Hell in the Cell, to hell with Night of Champions, let's do it tonight. Let's have a rematch, let's have this fight again tonight, let's finish this once and for all. And everybody was up for it, including me. That was until Bo Dallas showed up. And I don't know what the hell that is. Bo Dallas signed his death warrant. And he comes out and says, Bo, leave! And Brock had that smile on his face and just beat the shit out of him, basically. Took him to Suplex City. One of my favourite moments of Raw. Ever. And anyone who beats up Bo Dallas is A-OK in my opinion. But, I mean, someone needs to grab Bo Dallas right now and take him down a smart path. And quick. Seriously, I mean, what the hell was he thinking? Out of all the things he's done, I mean, he's done it to Sting. He's done it to a few other people, including Neville. I'd love to know who gave him the idea. Oh yeah, go out and interrupt Brock Lesnar and have him whoop the fuck out of you. and take you down Suplex City. And then F5 your ass. I don't know. But it was fun to watch anyway. Like I said, anyone who beats up Bo Dallas, I will watch that all day, because I can't stand Bo Dallas. The second main point, Cena's revenge. Jon Stewart got what he deserved. He takes an FU, tries to justify what he did at SummerSlam, costing Cena the US title and handing up, basically giving it to Seth Rollins on a silver platter, making their world champion even look more even weaker than he already is. And it makes no sense that happened, but Ric Flair came out and basically, in a way, in my opinion, set up Jon Stewart, because John Cena came out. And like I said, Jon Stewart tried to justify what he did, and obviously Cena was having none of it. And then Cena took it upon himself to FU, AA, I still call it an FU, Jon Stewart, and give him what he deserves. And I don't think there was anybody that justified that and said, that shed a tear for John, except for Stephanie and Triple H, who apparently had John Cena arrested later on in the show, which was bullshit. Probably the only low point of the show, but John Cena got his revenge and taught Mr. Stewart a lesson. Don't stick your nose in WWE or in wrestling business. The second point was during a tag match. New Day and the Lucha Dragons. New Day got the victory. They beat the Lucha Dragons, non-title. Started dancing in the ring. What is with that Biggie dance? Biggie dancing, this 300-pound shaking, and what the fuck is that? I mean, seriously. And then the pyro goes off, and out come the Dudley Boys. Yes. The team that was known in TNA as Team 3D is back in WWE as the Dudley Boys. Back to their old roots, back to everything. And they came out. Xavier Woods tried to stop them, trip him off the apron, go in there, literally beat the crap out of New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, and then beat up Xavier Woods, do their old finishing move, the What's Up, and then get a table and basically do one of my favourite moments of Raw, 3D Xavier Woods through a table. Couldn't have went any better. Could not have went any better. I hate New Day. Like I said earlier on, one star of that team, Kofi Kingston. Simple as that. Simple as that. And without Kofi Kingston, that group would flop. Okay? That's the only reason that has some longevity. Okay? It's Kofi Kingston. But other than that, just a superb moment for me. And I had a big, huge grin on my face seeing Xavier Woods go through a table. That guy has not, like I said, and I'll keep on saying it because it's fact, that guy has not been relevant since TNA. Consequences Creed, anyone? Or as Kevin Nash called him, Unconscious Creed. And trust me, on Raw, he was unconscious. Anyway, moving on. The main event, or the somewhat main event, was the ceremony of Seth Rollins. Now, everybody thought Cena was going to interrupt it, but obviously he got taken away by the police. So, we all thought Mr. Cena was still going to come back anyway. The statue was in the ring. We already saw what the statue was. But, the statue was like backstage before Rollins came in. It had everything to a detail. They actually did a good job of it. They didn't put much detail on the US title, though. Which befuddled me. But all in all, they unveiled it. Everybody was, Rollins was gloating. Triple H and the Witch had the smile on their face. And then, as they unveiled it, there was no statue. But there was Sting. Sting returned and proceeded to ambush the Authorities' plans again and put a beat down on Seth Rollins. And then, as that happened, got rid of Seth Rollins out the ring, he picked up the World Heavyweight title, raised it in the air like he did with the TNA title before, like he used to do with titles before, and he got the biggest pop I have ever heard. People want him to be World Heavyweight Champion. Question is, will he do it? After Raw, Triple H made it official. It is now at Night of Champions. Seth Rollins one-on-one with Sting for the world title. Something to look forward to. Just when Mr. Rollins thinks that, you know, he's getting away scot-free, so to speak, the plans come back to haunt him and Sting. Just when Triple H thought he got rid of Sting the first time around that bullshit at WrestleMania, Sting's coming back. And hopefully this time he gets a legit win. Okay? Don't book the guy the way you did at WrestleMania. Allow him to win. If it means giving him the belt, hell, give him it. I'll be all for it. You know? Rollins' title run's coming to an end soon anyway. It's just a case of when. Hopefully it'll be a Night of Champions. Look, I love me some Seth Rollins, but the guy is going from a strong champion, and I'll admit, he was a heel, he was a strong champion, but now he's gone to a weak champion now, and people are sick of seeing him as champion. They want something new. It's time for a change, and if Sting's the man to do it, then I got no complaints with it. I got no complaints with it whatsoever. You know, allow it. That's all I can say. Also, one other point in Raw. Wyatt family seems to have a new member. And no, it's not Eric Rowan. I don't know where the hell this guy came from. Big 300-pound monster. Absolute monster. I don't know where this guy came from. I forgot his name because they announced his name at the end of the show with the promo. I don't know what the hell happened. But yeah, you know, maybe they'll have that 6-man tag that they planned. Sting, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns versus the Wyatt family. No doubt that'll be after Night of Champions, unless they allow Sting to win the title. And then after that, there was the other matches were the 8-man star-studded match, which was Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Ryback, and Randy Orton versus Sheamus, Big Show, Kevin Owens, and Rusev. And it all ended with RKO from Randy Orton on Sheamus to get the victory. That was after Sheamus got knocked out by the Big Show with a miscue. He meant to hit Randy, but he punched Sheamus instead. Randy ducked out the way, hits Sheamus with an RKO and gets the victory. And then everybody proceeded to beat up Big Show. Rusev Owens, after the match, beat up Big Show. Owens cannonballed Big Show. And then all four of them came in. Ziggler comes in, kicks Big Show in the face, super kick. And then Cesaro and Ryback lift Big Show up in like a double team move kind of thing. Lift them both up in the air. And then they let it go, an RKO from Randy Orton. It was like a triple RKO, I guess you could call it. I mean, all in all, just awesome. And I don't know where Big Show's going with this now. Obviously, he still wants a piece of Ryback, but will he turn babyface? Will he turn heel? We'll have to wait and see next week on Raw. on that one. And yes, PCB, they had PCB job out to the Bella Twins. Wouldn't surprise me that Nikki Bella had John Cena vouching for her with Vince McMahon. If the rumours are true, that is. Because I'm going to talk about it right now, all these rumours that were going around with, the plan was, the rumours are that John Cena went to Vince McMahon to stop Charlotte from getting her push that we all know she's going to get. But the plan was to push her straight away the minute she came up from NXT and put the belt on her, the Divas title on her. And she was going to be the next in line to beat Nikki Bella. From what I read. Like I said, these are just rumours. But it seems Mr. Cena, from what I read, went and vouched to Vince McMahon and vouched on Nikki Bella's part because, you know, Nikki's the future Mrs. Cena, and allowed her to break the record or to hold the record for the Divas title, or break the record. It was AJ Lee's record. Allow her to break that. Yeah, good job, John. Yeah, because he's scared of the fact that Nikki Bella's scared of the fact that the future of the Divas division is Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte will own that division when she becomes champion. Because you know what's going to happen, John. You know what's going to happen, Nikki. So much people want of the Bella Twins. I mean, it's even got to a point now where the Bella Twins thinking Brie Bella's doing the kicks now from her husband Daniel Bryan, and she's getting booed out the building for it. You know, comes to a point where there's so much of the Bella Twins that people want. It comes to a point where they don't want them no more, and it's going to come to the point where they don't want Nikki as Divas champion, and that's just something you got to handle, Mr. Cena. If the rumours are true, of course. I doubt it, but hey, I just thought I'd bring that up. But we all know at some point, no matter what, Charlotte Flair is going to be the future and the backbone of the Divas division, and she's going to take the Divas division to standards where it should be. And if it's not that, then PCB, I mean, the revolution continues, and hopefully that revolution will go on Charlotte's back, because Charlotte deserves it. I mean, she is the future of the Divas division. She's the future of the women's division. Quite frankly, she is the women's division. There you go, I said it. Not knocking Becky Lynch, because I think she'll be Divas champion at some point as well. But everybody wants Charlotte to be the champion, and I think Charlotte should be the champion. Don't get me wrong, Becky should be the champion, because I've been very impressed with Becky Lynch. Her match with Bayley on NXT a couple of weeks ago, superb. More on NXT, another video. And yeah, that's about it from this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you've enjoyed the points of Raw and the review of Raw. I liked Raw, actually. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I never thought I'd hear myself say that. 5 out of 5 in Sunday Segway terms, 10 out of 10. Because I actually enjoyed it. I never thought I'd say that. Never thought I'd say anything about Raw. But I really did enjoy Raw this past week. Apart from the BS with Cena getting arrested and all that. No. But all in that, it was good entertainment, good action, and good stuff as well. And they obviously did a bullshit pay-per-view, but they followed it up with a spot on Raw, quite frankly, in my opinion. It's just a shame they didn't do that at the pay-per-view. If you like the Wrestling Matters Podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters Podcast now on Twitter at WM Podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me at HEAD, back with another video. And like I said, that I was going to do, you saw my SummerSlam results show, my SummerSlam and Monday Night Raw results, views and highlights and all that, and that got over 230 views, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Absolutely fast as well. Now, I promised you an NXT TakeOver. As I'm recording this video right now, I just finished watching NXT TakeOver. 5-star show. That's all I'm saying. 5-star show. unbelievable show from start to finish, top to bottom, and it was flat out better than SummerSlam. I couldn't understand why people hyped this so much, and in a way it was a good thing it was on the WWE network, because like they said, if it had been on another pay-per-view network, they wouldn't have finished the show. So it's a good thing they actually did do it on the network. But anyway, I'm going to bring it up here. I didn't have time to write, so as I'm looking into this camera right here, I'm going to be looking down here a lot because I got the notes, some of the pinpoints of the match of the NXT show right here as I'm looking at this right now. So if I look down a lot, I'm not looking up a lot, it's because I'm reading it down here. I don't have it on here on my notepad and everything. I'll probably have I have the matches wrote down, but I don't have I had to pinpoint it all. It just saves time. Just saved a lot of time, a lot of waste. I'm not wasting my own time in the process. Now, the kickoff of the match, I didn't see what happened on the pre-show, but the match that kicked off was Tyler Breeze one-on-one with the legend that is Mr. Juice and Thunder Liger. WCW, Ring of Honor, PCW, list goes on and on. The guy's been there, done it, seen it. A great, good, solid, great, good. Can you say great, good? Great, let's just say great. Great, solid wrestling match to start off. Because there was a lot of mat wrestling. And early on, 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say 5 minutes as the match got into it, Liger was stretching him along the ground and everything, putting submission moves on him, getting him in like these weird surfboard moves and everything. If you've seen Juice and Thunder Liger wrestle, you know what he's capable of. But he was Tyler Breeze was really, really getting stretched out. But credit to Tyler, he did fight back. Great solid wrestling match. Used his wrestling ability to control Jushin. Even dominated most of the match. Not a lot, but most of it. And it was just a great mat wrestling, solid wrestling match. Unbelievable good way to kick off the show. I believed I went for Tyler Breeze to win this match. I thought they were just going to bring in Juice and Liger to put Tyler over. Obviously they didn't. They didn't go down that route. You bring the legends in, or you bring them in just to put them over, and that, like they've done with Rhino and shit like that. But Jushin got the win. He got the win with the Liger bomb. One of my favourite moments of the match is where you got that Juice and Liger got the selfie foam, the stick thing, and he did his own selfie thing, just mocking Tyler Breeze. I thought it was hilarious. He's not afraid to do that. He's a great wrestler nonetheless, Juice and Liger, but he's not afraid to do that. He's just an awesome, great, solid wrestling match to kick off the show. And Juice wins with the Liger bomb. I believe his finishing move is the Brainbuster. I believe, if you're talking outside WWE, I believe his finishing move is the Brainbuster. I don't think he was allowed to use that. I don't know why, but Brainbuster's not a bad move in WWE. Mind you, saying that, you wouldn't believe the amount of big moves that are banned in WWE. Power Driver being one of them. Even though that gets used in indie wrestling as well as, I believe TNA even use it as well, because it's Eric Young's finishing move. Anyway, the second match, good solid match, great solid match to start off, and just a brilliant way to kick off. Vaudevillains and Blake and Murphy for the tag team titles. Now, a good, solid, action-packed tag team match this was. And the story of the match was who the Vaudevillains going to get to counter Miss Alexia Bliss. Blue pants. Okay. I got nothing against the girl. She could probably wrestle. Ish. And that's saying a lot. But she needs a a theme music. Yeah. What? Makes no sense. But she seemed to have got over with the NXT crowd. And again, great technical wrestling match. Great tag team wrestling. Solid tag team match. A great solid tag team match, which I felt was dominated most by Blake and Murphy, to be honest with you. I thought they, being the champions in that, they really had the Vaudevillains on the back pedal. And I believe they were in control for most of the match. And then my favourite moments of the match were Blue Pants chasing Alexia Bliss. Alexia goes to slap the Vaudevillains like she's been doing. She's been practically bullying them for the past couple of weeks on NXT. And then Blue Pants blocks her and slaps her. And then the Vaudevillains get the victory and become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. They hit their finishing move. I'm not even going to say the finishing move because it's a mouthful. But great, solid tag team wrestling at its best. If you want tag team wrestling, this is what the WWE, tag team division needs to be. Besides getting rid of the belts that they've got, they need to bring some fresh belts in. I really do not like them belts. It's supposed to be gold belts, and they've got bronze belts. Seriously. But good, solid tag team wrestling, and the tag team division in WWE, or whoever's running WWE at this point, I'm guessing it's Vince, needs to take a look at that, because that's how the tag team division should be. If you want to see a good tag team match, watch that, in my opinion. Now, the next match after that was the debut of Mr. Apollo Crews, all better known to indie wrestling, British indie wrestling fans, and especially Preston Championship Wrestling fans, PCW, as Uhaa Nation. And I called this. I said this was going to happen. If you go back to the NXT predictions, I believe I said that he would probably wrestle Ty Dillinger. And I was right. Ty Dillinger. But although Mr. Crews was impressive, he wasn't dominant. Because I felt from watching it, Ty Dillinger dominated most of the match for me. And was looking to take over, looking to make the hype built around Mr. Crews and take over that and make it, and basically take it and flush it down the toilet. But Mr. Crews, being so agile, he is unbelievable. Now I know why. Unfortunately, I'm ashamed to say this, I do watch PCW on their YouTube page. I've never seen a PCW show. I think the closest thing I've come to a PCW show was the PCW show they had on with Chris Travis for his illness, because they had that on the YouTube page. I have never seen a PCW show, I'm ashamed to say. I believe I might be wrong on that. I'm trying to go onto their on-demand service, but it's not working out. It's on Vimeo, their on-demand service, but I think you have to buy certain DVDs on there before you can get to there. It's nothing like the ICW and the Progress Wrestling on-demand service. Maybe PCW might want to think about going down that route, because that'll work a lot better than doing what you're doing with Vimeo. Big time. And hey, I can tell you this right now. If you do go down that route, I'll subscribe. I got no problem subscribing. I'll do it. I've subscribed to ICW. I've subscribed to Progress Wrestling. Yeah, Combat Zone Wrestling's on there, but I don't think I'll be going down that route. But I don't mind adding you to that account. I don't care. Works for me. But anyway, Mr. Crews was impressive. He did an impressive standing moonsault. He's very agile. Very powerful, mixture of speed, agility, and natural strength, basically natural power. And he could be a big deal, and he will be a big deal. And because I believe he could be, he's definitely a future NXT champion in my opinion. And now I know why. Now I know why all the hype was about. Now I know why PCW thought very highly of this guy, because once upon a time he was the PCW champion. So I believe Mr. Crews has a future. It'll be just interesting to see where he goes and what direction he will go as far as, NXT, specifically Triple H, trying to promote the guy. Because Ty Dillinger took most of the match. He took the match to Apollo and took control of it and dominated most of it. What they're going to do with him when it comes to the NXT shows? Are they going to give him what they did with Baron Corbin? Give him 5-minute matches and shit like that. Same with Rhino as well. Or are they going to really test this guy out and give him 5-minute matches on the show? Because it's a 60-minute show. And build him up and then give him big matches on the NXT Takeover. Because the next NXT Takeover show is in October. So, what they're going to do with this. It's interesting to find out, but if he's used right, he could be a dominant player in NXT. And I believe he will be a dominant player in NXT. Because he's so good. And Ty Dillinger found out, despite the fact that Mr. Dillinger took control and dominated most of the match. Now, I would say probably first of 3 main events, even though it wasn't dubbed as a main event. Because the two main events of the show were the women's title and the NXT title, and quite rightly so. But I would say this was first of 3 main events, quite frankly. Baron Corbin and Samoa Joe. Did I say Samoa Joe? I meant Samoa Joe, sorry. Just get my teeth back in there. Good, physical, hard-hitting match this was. 2 heavyweights. First 10 minutes at the most. I believe Corbin dominated most of the match. He really took it to and showed no intimidation towards Samoa Joe. But I would say the last maybe 15 minutes of the match, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Last 15 minutes of the match, or maybe 10, it was the hard-hitting physical match. It was basically, it went from being a wrestling match, hard-hitting offense from both men, even Corbin. I believe Baron Corbin dominated most of the match, but Joe ended up winning with a submission move. The Kikita Clutch, which is his chokeout move. And if you've seen him in TNA, or in Ring of Honor for that matter, you know what that move is. And you know what that move's all about. All in all, a good, solid, hard-hitting physical match. And Mr. Corbin now is no longer undefeated, thanks to Samoa Joe. Because Samoa Joe, being the veteran that he is, he's been around 16 years now. And Corbin only got signed to NXT. He was recruited, basically. And but credit to Mr. Corbin, he took it to Samoa Joe. He took the fight to him. Hard-hitting power, used his strength. I mean, the guy's 6'8" for crying out loud. But Joe, using experience, using his submission move, the Kikita Clutch, got him and made him tap out. I don't think he did tap out, actually. I think he passed out. He passed out, and Mr. Corbin is now no longer the undefeated guy anymore. And that's good, to be fair, because it'd be interesting to see what they do with Corbin now. Hopefully they'll push Samoa Joe a little bit further than what he's got. But these 5-minute, 2-minute matches, or 30 seconds or 1.5 minute matches that he was having on NXT weren't getting over with the NXT crowd, or probably weren't getting over with him. And from what I've seen on NXT, the only 2 matches that he's had, 2 really test matches that he's had, was one with Samoa Joe and the other one being with Rhino. And he beat Rhino, but he couldn't beat the Samoan Submission Machine. And there is a reason he is called the Samoan Submission Machine. Watch the match. Now we go on to the 2 main events. And you know what? I'm going to start off with the ladder match. Yes, the ladder match was on last. But you know what? I'm going to start off with this ladder match. 20-minute ladder match. Physical as hell. The NXT champion, Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. And not that I didn't have any respect for Owens, because I think Owens is great. But my respect level for Owens went to a new level, considering he went through this 20-minute physical match. It was a fight, basically. A ladder match. No wrestling match. No wrestling in it, quite frankly. It was just a physical brawl. And one of my favourite moments of the match, well, one of my talking points of the match is Owens takes a backdrop on the ladder. Now, for those of you, you already know ladders. When you open the ladder, it opens up. There's one side and there's one side, right? Lay that side as it stands, right? Take that down, lay it down on the floor. Owens took a backdrop right in the middle of it. And it went right through me, quite frankly. It went absolutely right through me. Finn Balor showing, despite the fact he had an ankle, because there was one point during the match he drop kicked, he ran across the announce table and drop kicked the ladder right into Owens, but the ladder fell back on Finn, and I believe fell on his ankle. He still managed to dive over the ropes. Suicide dive over the ropes. And but yeah, it was just a good old-fashioned 20-minute ladder match. Wasn't the star attraction of the show. I could understand why it was last, because it was the main event and it was the NXT Championship. You know, I could understand that. But did it steal the show? No. It was an awesome match. And credit to Owens as well for even getting up to fight Cesaro after this match as well, because as you know, SummerSlam was the next night. This was on August 22nd. SummerSlam was the next night, and we all know that he had a match with Cesaro, who was actually there that night as well. But yeah, just a good old-fashioned match. And Owens took a back bump on the ladder. They were both on the ladder. There was a ladder wedged between the bottom turnbuckle and the bottom part of the ladder. Owens took a back bump on the ladder and then managed to crawl round, and then Finn, instead of going for the title first, he hit his double stomp finishing move off the top of the ladder and just took it from there, basically, and went up the ladder and got the victory and got the title. But all in all, good way to end the show. I don't think it should have ended that way, to be honest with you, but hey, that's my opinion. But good fashion ladder match, and all credit to Finn Balor. He's a champion, and I knew he'd be great because I've seen this guy back in the days when he was Prince Devitt. And Kevin Owens, hey, was one of many wrestlers that carried Ring of Honor on his back. And I believe before long he may very well carry the WWE on his back, to be honest. I can see him being WWE World Heavyweight Champion soon. Very soon. And I think he'd be a very good champion too. But all in all, Finn Balor on NXT is the man. And he's a future WWE champion as well. And like I said, I've watched Finn back in ICW when he was in Japan. Original founder of the Bullet Club as well, to all you Bullet Club fans out there. He was the original leader before he had to leave, and then Styles came in. And I knew he'd be great. I knew he'd be a hit in WWE. When they signed him, it didn't surprise me one bit. Now, unbelievable match up next. And you wonder why there's a revolution in WWE involving the women's division. Because you want to know what stole the show, in my opinion, of NXT, and I know I'm not the only one who's going to say this. Sasha Banks defending the women's title against Bayley. These two girls stole the fucking show. Period. Hard-hitting, physical women's match at its best. And you know what? Some say this was probably the greatest women's match of all time. I'd probably say in WWE, I don't know. But I can bloody see why. Because there's been a lot of good women's matches in NXT. I don't think any of them could top this. Because this is probably my favourite NXT women's match ever. Definitely my favourite women's match ever in wrestling today. Because I don't think, up until now, I don't think there's ever been a good women's match in WWE. I think the last women's match was in 2006, I believe. The last good one anyway, in my opinion. I mean, there's been a few on NXT, but I'm talking about the WWE main roster in the Divas division, because the Divas division is a joke, and you wonder why there's a revolution. But these girls set the standard. I mean, the story of the match was Sasha working on the injured hand of Bayley, and one time I think she nearly crushed the hand. She put the hand into the stairs and just smacked the stairs onto it and nearly fucking crushed her. And there was one point during the match as well that Sasha had their bank statement, her finishing move on, and Bayley was on the verge of reaching the ropes, and Sasha just started kicking the bad hand, just started kicking it and stomping it and everything. God, it was awful. Other than that, it was just a physical, good women's match, wrestling match. Key word there, wrestling. As it says in the corner, forget the podcast bit, wrestling matters. That's why this channel exists, because of me. Wrestling matters, baby. That's what I believe in. That's what I stand up for on this channel. Not just on this channel, on the podcast too. And it ended with the damnedest reversed Hurricane Rana I've ever seen. A reverse Hurricane Rana from Bayley off the top rope, and I swear it nearly killed Sasha. She took a flip, bump. Oh my god, unbelievable! And then Bayley wins it with the Bayley to belly, which is the belly to belly suplex, finishing move, and gets the title. Just an epic 5-star women's match. And like I said on my podcast on previous, and I'll say it again, there is women's wrestling in WWE. Hopefully before long it'll be on the main roster, but for now, if you want a good women's match, go to NXT. And then after the match, Bayley stands tall with the women's title, and the 4 horsewomen show up and party with her. That's right, Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky. All 4 of them stand tall. The 4 women that set the standard and changed the face of the women's division, of the Divas division, whatever the hell you want to call it, in WWE. And I've got a funny feeling they'll do it again on the main roster. They damn sure did it in NXT, or they'll do it again on the main roster once they all get up there. I mean, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte are already there. As soon as Bayley comes up, get it done, WWE. The thumbnail says it all. Dear WWE, make it a stable. And I don't think there's ever been a female group in wrestling before. At least from my perspective, at least. I mean, I've been watching wrestling a long time. I've been a fan of wrestling a long time. I don't think there's ever been a female women's group in wrestling. And I think that's what it needs. I mean, that's what I've always said. I don't think... That's what I'll say this again. I've said this a few times. I'll say it again. Sasha Banks should not be with Team Bad, in my opinion. I think Stephanie should have put her with. Should have got her to go with Charlotte, Paige, and Becky, and create the 4 horsemen that way. I don't mind having Paige in there. Paige set the standard for the NXT. She was the very first NXT Women's Champion, and she's British too. But you know. I mean, the perfect fit for Team Bad would have been Alicia Fox, because she's the odd one out in Team Bella. That's as simple as that. I mean, Team Bella is Brie and Nikki. You know, Brie and Nikki, to be honest with you. The thing with Alicia Fox is that because WWE didn't know what to do with her, so I thought, oh yeah, we'll put her with Team Bella. Makes no sense. Alicia should be with Team Bad, quite frankly. And they should have Sasha Banks, Paige, Becky, and Charlotte as 4, and then add Bayley when she comes up. That's what it should be. That's a revolution, because the NXT girls started this revolution. You know, it wasn't the WWE Divas; it was the NXT girls. And I'll go on the record in saying this to this very day: the WWE Divas, and some of them are great, but some of them aren't. But they can't hold a candle to what the NXT Women's Division does. You put them 2 on the pedestal. The Divas division's down here. The NXT's Women's Division is right out the shot there. As you can see where my hand is right now. Okay. Divas division at this point in time, hopefully it will change, but the Divas division cannot hold a candle to what the NXT girls are doing on NXT. That's why, I'll say it again, there is a women's wrestling in WWE. At this point, it's on NXT. If you want to see a good women's match, go to NXT. Hopefully, with the Revolution, it will change and it'll be on the main roster too. That's why I'm a PCB fan. But like I say, Sasha should not be with them. Yes, they are a heel group, despite the fact that Sasha gets cheered out the building. And Sasha, out of the three, is the only one that gets cheered. Have you noticed that? You've got Naomi, Tamina, no one cares about them two. And you've got Sasha Banks, who people just cheer out the building. Because she's the boss. If it'd been me, Sasha would be with Team PCB. Period. But anyway, that's enough for me. 5-star show, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever you want to call it. The best wrestling show WWE have put out in God knows how long. It seems from that show, wrestling lives in WWE. Despite the fact they portray themselves as sports entertainment. Well, I think they know what wrestling's about after that show, especially in NXT. I think that's why Vince doesn't applaud it that much, because it is wrestling. And to Vince, wrestling's a dirty word. Be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday for the Progress Wrestling Podcast. That's right, each and every week on Wednesdays, for the time being at least, I will be reviewing their shows from their on-demand service, Demand Progress. So be sure to check out the hottest promotion to come out of London. That's right, it's Progress Wrestling. This is Progress. This is a podcast on Progress. Every Wednesday on SoundCloud, YouTube, OSW TV, and every other podcasting site that matters. Be sure to check it out. Wrestling matters, wrestling fans. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, download it free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
Right guys, welcome back to the Wrestling Matters Podcast. Hope you enjoyed all them audios there. And now, like we said, we'll get right into the main part. We'll finish this podcast off with Smackdown, NXT, TNA, and Ring of Honor. So let's get into NXT, Smackdown first. Wow, teeth, anyone? Okay. The Wyatt family, now a monster stronger, kicked off SmackDown. Amond a sea of fireflies. It's not easy to say. The new face of fear, or the self-proclaimed new face of fear, Bray Wyatt, and the new face of disillusion, Luke Harper, introduced the new face of destruction, Braun Strowman. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. To the WWE Universe. The introduction of the Wyatt family's newest member to SmackDown was quickly interrupted, however, by Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. The brothers-in-arms declared that if they are going down, they're going down swinging. Despite a tense stare down inside the ring, the new-look Wyatt family choose to fight another day. Now, it's interesting to see where this is going to go, man. Handicap match, gotta be something. The Dudley Boys returned to SmackDown. After a hard-hitting battle, the Dudley Boys defeated Connor and Victor via the Dudley Death Drop in their return to Thursday's hottest show. After the contest, Bubba Ray and Devon set up a table, only to be interrupted by the sign-carrying New Day, protesting the team's use of furniture. The WWE Tag Team Champions demonstrated demonstration was to no avail though. The duo from Dudleyville proceeded to send Victor aspiring through a table from the top rope, sending a message to New Day. Neville fought valiantly, but it was a brutal super kick and a pop-up powerbomb that Kevin Owens had to end up beating the man that gravity forgot. Charlotte and Becky Lynch beat the Bella Twins, a little bit of revenge from Raw. Seth Rollins sounded off about Sting's surprise return. Seth Rollins was in a usual boastful form on SmackDown, gloating about his greatness and going so far to say Hollywood stars like Brad Pitt would line up to play him in a movie about his story. The WWE Heavyweight Champion also clearly still tasted some sour grapes as he claimed that Sting was jealous of him. I find that Rollins then guaranteed that he will not only defeat the Icon and Night of Champions in their WWE Championship match, but he would also finish what Triple H started at WrestleMania. And I use that term loosely. Ryback Dolph Ziggler defeats Big Show and Rusev, and Big Show ended up knocking out Rusev. Sheamus beats Dean Ambrose in the main event, all thanks to a little bit of help from the Wyatt family. And there you have it, guys. That's all I'm going to do. Nothing much to say on SmackDown. Now we'll end it there and say that it's time for the Fallout show of NXT. So we'll get straight into it. Not waste any time. So without further ado, let's do this. NXT kicked off this week with an 8-man tag match. Enzo Amore, Colin Cassidy and the Hype Brothers defeat Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Brooklyn erupted with local heroes. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy emerged to kick off the show, teaming with Long Island's Zack Ryder and his partner Mojo Rawley for an 8-man tag team match. After an open fury that capped off with Big Cass tossing Enzo over the ropes onto the opponents, Dawson, Wilder, Jordan and Gable took control, wearing Amore down in their half of the ring. However, the Brooklyn crowd got behind them. Amore slipped out of the clutches and tagged in Big Cass. The 7-footer from Queens went on a rampage, clobbering everyone in his path. The Hype Brothers took care of Dawson and Wilder, leaving Cassidy to launch Amore onto Gable to pick up a huge victory. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic starts next week. Now, Eva Marie faces Carmella. After Bayley dethroned Sasha Banks to capture the NXT Women's title at TakeOver Brooklyn, the rest of the division is jockeying for position to earn a championship match. Eva Marie certainly made her case in Brooklyn, taking on the Princess of Staten Island's Carmella. Eva stunned her faced opposition with a jawbreaker and a sliced bread number 2 to earn the win before signaling that she is coming for the NXT title. I don't think that'll go down well. Bull Dempsey, alias Samson. After weeks of training to get Bull fit, Bull Dempsey returned home to Brooklyn. The drifter Samson did his best to ruin Bull's homecoming, but there was no stopping the motivated New York Nightmare. Dempsey clobbered his rival with a thunderous blows before hurling the 300-pound frame full force at Samson. Bull got the 3 count after crushing Samson with a sit-down splash off the top rope as the Brooklyn crowd cheered him on. Now, a fatal 4-way. Emma defeats Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Dana Brooke. Yes, you heard me correct. The tensions were high in the Barclays Center, for all 4 divas circled each other before Charlotte and Becky tossed Emma and Dana out of the ring and locked horns themselves. The Team PCB members traded holds to the delight of the NXT universe before Emma and Dana blindsided them both. The Total Diva and her cohort ganged up on Charlotte, tossing her into the ringside barricade before turning their attention to Becky. However, Emma and Dana's alliance fell apart when they couldn't agree on who should take charge in the bout. But then Charlotte recovered and got back into the battle, taking on Emma and Dana by herself. After a fracas involving all 4 divas, Emma found herself standing tall with both Charlotte and Becky prone in the opposition's corner. The Australian diva pancaked each of them with an Emma sandwich before pinning Lynch to earn a shocking victory. Yes, you heard me correct. She pinned Lynch. But things didn't end there as Charlotte trapped Brooke in the figure 8, while Becky locked the disarmer on Emma to put a cap on a huge night for NXT and a huge weekend for NXT as well. So I hope you enjoyed that there, guys. I'll be back after this quick timeout with TNA main talking points, so stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling, the Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters podcast now on Twitter at WM podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast. Now, without further ado, we'll get straight into it. It's time for the TNA main talking points. Now, Jeff Hardy says needs one more shot. Says Matt Hardy needs one more shot. One more chance to become the TNA heavyweight champion in the world. If granted another shot, Matt vows to become the champion that leads TNA into the future. EC3 recalls watching the Hardys as a child. He says competing against two legends couldn't be more disappointing. EC3 says he went into God mode and stood atop Matt Hardy like Zeus on Mount Olympus. Yes, you heard me correct. EC3 and the Hardys trade bribes, and EC3 says if the crowd chants Matt for champ, Matt will have his rematch on one condition. If he defeats Matt, Jeff becomes his personal assistant. The Hardys decide later. Yes, you heard me correct on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not even going to talk about this because this is ridiculous. The leg on the line match. Eric Young beats Chris Melendez. He gets his leg. Guess what happened? Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. DJZ, Sanjay Dutt, and Tigre Uno for the X Division title. DJZ locks up for the X Division title. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore now because it's so... There's a lot to go through. The match ended with DJZ... Sanjay Dutt scores another near fall after a tornado DDT. Dutt dropkicks Tigre Uno before colliding with DJZ in a double clothesline. DJZ sends Dutt into the corner. Dutt counters with a pendulum kick. Dutt is sent outside. Tigre Uno German suplex DJZ into the turnbuckle. Delivers a springboard frog splash to retain the X Division title. So Tigre Uno is still the champ. The Revolution and the Wolves retain the tag team titles with a little help from Shira as well, the former member of the Revolution. There is a new member of the Dollhouse, and by the way, Hardys accept EC3's challenge. Why the fuck for? I don't know, but anyway, anything to get a title match. Knockouts title. Velvet Sky vs. Brooke and the Dollhouse interfere, and apparently there's a new member of the Dollhouse too, and her name is Rebel, and I believe Rebel might very well be Rebel Sky. I don't know, I have to check on that one, but I believe her name is Rebel nonetheless. She's the newest member of the Dollhouse. King of the Mountain #1 contender 4-way. Winner gets a shot at the King of the Mountain title. And that ended with Rude sets up for Rude Bomb. Bobby Lashley grabs the top rope. Rude breaks the grip. But before connecting, Storm is there with a closing time. Lashley catches Storm with a running power slam, and Mr. Anderson drops Lashley with a neck breaker. Anderson makes the cover. Rude breaks it up. Anderson delivers mic check to Rude. Storm breaks the count. Anderson gives Storm the Green Bay plunge, and on the rise, Lashley catches him with a spear. Lashley charges Rude with a spear. James Storm connects with the last call. Rude interrupts Storm's count. They again come face to face as the crowd chant for beer money. Rude and Storm team up against Anderson. Then Rude counters the last call with Rude Bomb and becomes the #1 contender for the King of the Mountain title. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Dixie's decision. Will Jeff Jarrett return or run Impact Wrestling? Dixie Carter says she was one of the few people who knew about the opportunity for Jeff Jarrett's return to Impact Wrestling. Even though what it happened, she was just as shocked as surprised. She says it made her the happiest person. Dixie invites Jarrett to the ring. Jarrett says he is surprised to have received the call to return. He says that after founding and spending 10 years with TNA Wrestling, he is now excited to be joining Dixie Carter in Global Force Wrestling and TNA Wrestling Alliance. Dixie says that when she and Jarrett work together, they're unstoppable. Drew Galloway interrupts. Galloway says he made an important discovery. Jeff Jarrett's name was on the Gateway rental cars identified after each of the Backstage assault on Bully Ray and Drew Galloway. Galloway accuses Jarrett, saying that he stood to gain the most. Jarrett denies his involvement. Galloway threatens Jarrett while demanding answers. Karen Jarrett enters the Impact Zone, taking full responsibility. She claims to have acted in interest of Jeff Jarrett, their family, and GFW. Karen tells Jeff he deserved it, that TNA is his company. Then she warns one little spark can cause a giant inferno. Jeff Jarrett low blows Drew Galloway and says sometimes a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. As the GFW roster floods the ring against Drew Galloway, the Impact roster tries to even the odds, but the show goes off air with the Impact Wrestling roster fallen and Dixie Carter looking on in disbelief. The invasion of GFW is in full effect in TNA. Hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I'll be back after this with the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast, and yes, I'm going to be talking Ring of Honor, so stay tuned. Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland, where I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the final installment of this action-packed edition of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope all is well in whatever it is you're doing. Now we're going to get to the Ring of Honor. Now, quite an unusual Ring of Honor, and I almost didn't watch this, to be honest with you. It's a good thing. You know, thank God for online sites, man. Seriously, because I got the opportunity thanks to a site, I'm not going to tell you which one it is, thanks to a wrestling website and that, which allows you to watch previous episodes of certain shows and that. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I finally got to watch Ring of Honor because I went up to ringofhonorwrestling.com and the 26th episode of August 26th episode of Ring of Honor wasn't there. So I had to find it on another site, but I found it, and I managed to watch it, and it started off with the Bloodbound Warriors, yes, you heard me correct, against the Briscoes. Now, these two big monsters, and I'm talking about the Warriors, went against the experienced 8-time World Tag Team Champions in Ring of Honor. And Bloodbound did have the power advantage, and these two just went at it, man. These two teams just went at it. I believe it was the Warriors' debut, because I've never seen them before. This is the first time I've actually seen them. But I believe it was their debut, and they took it to the 8-time World Tag Team Champions of Ring of Honor, and legends that are the Briscoes. They took it to them, and man, I mean, you can't deny that if you go back and see it. Great tag team wrestling, great tag team match, but the Briscoes proving to be the experience of the team, because a double team froggy elbow, which is a frog splash but into an elbow drop, and a hard clothesline gets the Briscoes the win. But you can't deny how great of a showing that the Bloodbound Warriors did, because for most of the match they took control of it, and they showed a great outing, if you will. One of my favourite moments was the Briscoes and Red Scorpion's tag team partner was on the outside. Red Scorpion went to hit Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe ducked him and just dived on his partner on the outside. You know, just as simple as that, really. And I thought it was a great little moment there. And then, as it happened after the match, the Decade come out. BJ Whitmer, Adam Page, and yes, Colby Corino. Adam Page finally got the opportunity to really call out Jay Briscoe, and Jay Briscoe accepted, and the match was set for next week on Ring of Honor. Adam Page, Jay Briscoe, one-on-one. Now to the next match, which was Donovan Dijak and Roderick Strong. Now this was just a way to for the House of Truth to try and slow down Dijak, to try to slow down Roderick Strong, excuse me, because as you know, Roderick Strong's got a rematch for the world title. Now, the power advantage was with Dijak. Strong hits a suplex, but the power advantage was with Dijak, and he manhandled Strong during this match as well. Both these men showed great outing, great wrestling match between the two, and a great moment was in the match was Strong hitting a suplex, top rope superplex on Donovan Dijak. And let's just say this: Donovan Dijak's no lightweight or cruiserweight. He's 6 foot. He's 6'8", 7 foot guy, and he proved there that he was no slouch, and Strong proved that he's of his capabilities to get him off that top rope. But Strong hitting double knee buster, which is a slam dunk if you're an ICW fan, and kick the running off the ropes, straight kick in the face combo gets him the ring. Gets him the win, rather. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore half the time, man. I know I'm not drunk for you people. But, yeah, gets him the win, and then after the match, House of Truth come in and plan a beatdown, which was saved by War Machine. All in all, great match between the two. And like I say, it was just the House of Truth's way to try and slow down Roderick Strong going into the world title rematch. Now, the main event was Future Shock, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole going against The Addiction, Frankie Kazarian and one Christopher Daniels, or it is now known as the almighty Christopher Daniels. I swear to God, man, change his gimmick back, please, Ring of Honor. He's coming out, he looks like one of them old, there's a bit of William Regal about him in WCW. He comes out looking like something out of Hello Hello. It's ridiculous. I mean, I want the Fallen Angel back, man. Fallen Angel was awesome. Anyway, two great tag teams, one tag team reuniting, Future Shock, and they showed great tag team wrestling and showed they hadn't missed a beat. Great main event match, two great teams just going at it. But in my opinion, this main event was ruined by the Kingdom getting involved, beating up Kyle O'Reilly, obviously not going for Adam Cole because they still want Adam Cole to be a part of the Kingdom still, but they're trying to cost Adam Cole and everything, and then hopefully say, no, it wasn't them. But Adam Cole caught Maria Kanellis grabbing Kyle O'Reilly, chased them back to the locker room, and then the Addiction hit Celebrity Rehab and get the victory. And then all hell broke loose, and even the Young Bucks came out looking for revenge on the Addiction because of what they did the previous week, and managed to hit a super kick on the Addiction too. Yeah, and you can imagine what Steve Corino was like. All in all, a good show, but it wasn't great for me. It was a good show, but it wasn't great. Great wrestling, but the main event was kind of spoiled by the Kingdom. But anyway, I would still give it a 4 out of 5 because they do good shows. Ring of Honor, great shows, good shows. They still managed to, be who they are, basically. All in all, 4 out of 5. And that about wraps it up from the Wrestling Matters podcast, ladies and gentlemen. One quick thing before I go. This is now August 31st, Bank Holiday Monday if you're in the UK. And yeah, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are now 2 months away from TWT coming to Middlesbrough with their debut show. TWT is Total Wrestling T-Side. For more information on them, go to the official TWT on Twitter and Total Wrestling T-Side, TWT Wrestling on Facebook. Official TWT on Twitter, Total Wrestling TWT Wrestling on Facebook as well. It's not easy to say. But in any event, ladies and gentlemen, I am that H to the E to the A to the D. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Look out for the ICW podcast, as well as the Progress Wrestling podcast too, this week. And until next time, guys, check out all the podcasts on soundcloud.com/wrestling_matters_podcast. And until then, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Professional wrestling, this is it. This is us standing up.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's 13-14.
Cena, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold Simpson.